I made a video a couple weeks back on spelling, and I wanted to make one on memorization. That guy, he actually played at Ohio State University, basketball player, Jerry Lucas. There's his table of contents, and this book is very simple. Like, you would think like a book like that would be much more, like academia, like higher level. Whereas a cover like this book you would think would be made for grade school, and it very well could have been made for that age bracket. But he shows you how to learn all the state capitals and the states, the presidents, tricks on spelling, vocabulary. But what I'm going to talk about now is the phonics alphabet, the PEG word system memorization. Very clever, very ingenious system. Let me show you this paper. Basically, all you have to do is remember 0 to 10. And I'll tell you a little bit about, like, 1 stands for T and D and TH, 2 is N, 3 is M, 4 is R, 5 is L, 6 is J, CH, SH, soft G, as in gym, like a gym where you used to play sporting events. And, of course, like the name Jim, as in the male name, Jim, J-I-M. 7 is K, X, Q, I-N-G, hard C, and hard G, as in candy. 8 is V and F, and PH, and 9 is P and B. All right, really quick, I'll let you read that yourself. I'll go slow. In this system, vowels have they don't count. Also, the letters Y, H, the letters W, H, and Y do not count. Double letters do not count. So a word like mummy, just the first M would count. Silent letters do not count. I'm assuming because they say they're not heard. I cut that off a little bit. This page is essentially saying the same thing that this is saying. And this could have been this could have been somebody else. My uncle used to be into memory, so that might not even be related to this guy. He might have just copied it, and redid it. But I'll tell you why this system is so much better. Here's a different memory expert. That's Professor Claude Onley. We got 1, he's got a pen, a 2 is like a shape like a swan, and 3 is some birds flying in the air. 4 is a ship, and you can kind of see the number 4 in that sailboat if you're clever. 5 is a hook, 8 hourglass, 7 is a cliff, a 6 is a snail. Very ingenious. The pictures actually look like the numbers, but it doesn't even compare to this system. I mean, you memorize this, and I'll talk about this in part 2 in the video, how we're going to implement these numbers, and where it would be helpful to memorize a series, and you'll be impressed. But for right now, I got to spend a little bit of time just getting the fundamentals out of the way. So again, good system, but it doesn't even come close to this other system, like this. Okay, and there's the phonics alphabet. He talks about how we have a 26-letter alphabet, but only 10 hard consonants. You can read that yourself. Okay, and then he goes on how to learn this system. Now, T and D in phonics or in someone teaching speech, they lump those together because the tip of your tongue hits the palate. I forget what they call that, but like if you say Tom or if you say drowned, you'll notice the tip of your tongue going right up to your palate between, you know, your two anterior teeth. And I don't want to get into all that, but I'm going to show you a really quick way to lock these numbers in, where you're going to transpose numbers to letters, and then you can create very quick words. Like 1 is tie. Remember, I said vowels don't count. 2 is Noah, and H doesn't count. We covered that. M, ma, like my mom. I lock a lot of stuff in with that. 4 is rye, like rye bread. 5 is law. 6 is shoe. 7 cow. 8 ivy. 9 bees, because 9 stands for, you know, B or P. You could also choose another number, and I'll get into that, but for right now we're just going to stick to this. 10 is toes, and I've gone down the line. We'll talk more about that as we go. And you'll notice like 45 is rail, okay? Go back to 4. 4 is R. 5 is L. So there's your rail, and the vowels don't count. All right, moving along. So in America, American football's top, king, first best sport ever. This guy says, okay, I need TD. He's got a referee, single referee, holding up a TD. Pretty clever, you know, or else you just got to memorize it. This is ingenious. You got your 2, he just flipped it, and that's N. 3, he just flipped it, that's 3. 4, they call those mirror images. He made an R out of it. So the number 4 stands for R. Again, I had to memorize that. I didn't think that was, you know, it took me. In other words, I didn't pick that up like these are 5, brilliant. You know, you got your L with your 5 fingers. 6, a little tricky. 6 stands for, well, I know it's J, but yeah, okay, 6, the letter 6, it's J, S-H-C-H. And, you know, the way I remember that is should Church John, you know what I mean? I grew up Catholic, so that's all locked in. And they sound very much the same. And, of course, G2, you know, it's your gym, you know, where gym where you used to exercise as a child. And I think I talked about that already. But, all right, so here's how we remember the number 6 hitting a giant in the jaw, and then they should chase him because he hit him. Again, I didn't use that system. I used one of my own. And the other thing, what really took this off, the really reason this stuck into my brain is because I was learning shorthand at the same time. And this shorthand follows this same system. Whoever created shorthand was, you know, again, pretty sharp. I certainly wouldn't have thought of it. You know, for your shorthand, you got, you know, N is just a short line. M goes a little longer. Anybody knows shorthand? Your R is like this, but all this stuff's the same. Like, should Church John, the lines are slanted the same, but they're a little longer, but they're grouped, you know, they're grouped into the same system. So, moving along, we're on to 6, 7. Again, I just had to remember that. He's got a number 7 kicking a cow. 7 stands for hard C, is it? Yeah, hard C. But we'll go over that. Hard K. And 8, this is pretty sharp. I use this one. 8 is almost like one of those words like eat. And what is number 8 eating? He's eating vegetables. So 8 is, you got your, you know, V and PH, like Philip, but it's still making an F sound. And then, of course, V. All right, 9 is P and B. He just flipped that over to remember that the number 9 stands for P and B. The way I remember that is, you know, pub, you know, like an Irish pub. And again, that's shorthand too. It's a, you know, I don't want to get into shorthand. I made a video about that before too, but I'm going to stick with what I'm talking about. So we only got one more. You know, we only got one more. He's got him eating peanut butter and jelly. Okay, there's your P and B. All right, this one, the 0 stands for, it's a soft S, soft C and Z. He's got a, you know, a snake encircled itself, and then he's hissing at something. Again, I had to just memorize that one myself. But essentially that's it. I'm going to close out the video, and then I'm going to make a part 2. I want you to get a good beat on that. You know, if you wanted to stop the video, what I did, like on a sheet like this,